Hey there guys, gals, and my non-binary pals, how's it going? Right here bringing you a brand new video. This week was originally going to be part 2 of the answering questions video, but something else kind of came up in my mind and I wanted to discuss it. And this is my channel. I can do whatever I want. But next week will be part 2 of the questions video, so we're only getting a little off track. This week, instead, I wanted to talk about misgendering and dead naming. Misgendering is using the wrong pronouns or wrong gender terms towards somebody, and dead naming is using the name that they were assigned at birth as opposed to their chosen name. This was something that kind of came up due to anxiety over being kind of reconnected to people who knew me pre-transition. And with this came this anxiety that I usually kind of keep fairly covered up about being misgendered and dead named. This is a thing that kind of always lurks at the back of my head because while my amazing group, very close-knit group of friends who I consider my family or my framily are great about gendering me correctly and they never have any slip-ups or anything like that, I get constantly misgendered by my family. They don't dead name me nearly as much anymore, but they still slip up with the she's and the hers and whatnot. But yeah, so being reintroduced to these two people that I hadn't really interacted with at all since before I realized I was trans was kind of scary because I wasn't sure if they were going to, use the correct pronouns, use the correct name or whatever. And in particular, the history of our relationship hasn't been that great. And I don't know if I could have really put it past them to use the correct pronouns. Not necessarily because I think these are malicious people, but because my anxiety does a lot of things that aren't necessarily rooted in reality. Yeah, so reconnected with some people from the past, and it kind of uncovered these fears of being misgendered and dead named, and they actually use the correct pronouns, they use the right names, and it was really awesome. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because I don't care how hard you think you're trying. When you try and gender somebody correctly, you try and use the correct name for them, you can always try harder if you slip up. That's just the long and short of it. But yeah, so we connected with a couple of people who knew me before I was trans, and they were great about the pronouns and everything. I'm sure if we had interacted for more than, at most, an hour, there might have been more slip-ups, who knows. The reason why I'm making this video is because it's also me voicing another concern that I have. I'm always terrified that people refer to me as my dead name and the wrong pronouns when I'm not around. And I know that's not necessarily my problem, but it's an annoying thought at the back of my head, and I don't know how to deal with it. Because yeah, sure, I could ask the people, face to face, like, hey, you use the right pronouns and name when I'm not around, right? But that feels needy, and that's not something I want to come across. So I try to ignore the thoughts that say, hey, people refer to you as your dead name and as the wrong pronouns when you're not around because everybody hates you and blah, 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 blah. And I just want to say, if you refer to a trans person when they're not around as their old name and the incorrect pronouns, stop. It's just kind of fucked up, Like, why would you do that? I don't know, it's a frustrating thought for me, and I try to ignore it, but it's like always there. especially with like my family. I don't worry about it so much with my friends because, like I said, they've been so great about it. But like with my family, it's always this annoying thought at the back of my mind that's like, well, maybe part of the reason why they struggle with it when I'm around is because they don't actually use the pronouns when I'm not around. Or maybe they, you know, maybe that one time that they slipped up with my name, it's because they don't refer to me as Ryan when I'm not around. And I wish I could ignore these thoughts, but this is the type of shit that I go through. And the purpose of this video is to, and the purpose of this channel even, is just kind of lay this shit bare and kind of be open. Because this is my way of venting what I'm going through, you know? And misgendering and dead naming is a huge point of anxiety for me. And I'm tired of accommodating myself for other people. I decided that it's time to be really open and honest about it. I really hope that the people that care about me and the people that I have in my life refer to me as the correct pronouns and correct name when I'm not around, because if you don't, it kind of shows that you don't actually care about me as much as you say you do. It shows that you're not actually trying to get better with using the right name and the right pronouns, and that you're only doing it to appease me when I'm around. And the fact is, while I thought that this was just a phase when I first realized that I identify more masculinely, you know, circa February of 2016, it's not like that anymore. This has less become a phase, and it's more me realizing that this is who I really am. Like, so February 2015, when I first realized that I identified masculinely and I started going by the name Robert, which was the first name that I went by, was Robert and Rob, I didn't think that I'd want to be on hormones, and I didn't think that I would want to change my name, and I didn't think that I would want this to be a permanent change. But as I saw the, I guess, acceptance of who I am, and as I really started to become more comfortable with this being who I am as a person, I realized that this is a permanent thing. So don't treat this as a phase. Please just, if you don't refer to me as my name and my pronouns when I'm not around, then you might as well just cut me out of your life, because that just shows that you don't give a shit about me. That's all there is to it, you know? But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on everything. Thanks for watching. Next week will be the answering questions video. And have a great week, guys. Bye!